Welcome to a very chilly morning. We have just about 8 degrees. It dropped dramatically last night, which was forecasted, but I was so wrapped up in my head that I didn't pay attention to it much. And now that it's actually here, I'm very frustrated. So one reason I'm very frustrated is I woke up this morning completely fogged up and my dog didn't want to stop shaking her head. Means she was very agitated as well, which was very strange. Very strange. So I'm still fogged up, I'm still trying to gather my thoughts, and I don't know what the heck's happening. So I looked at the mold spots again, and then I decided, okay, I have a bit of paint left that I just thought about. I looked at all the spots up there. The only good thing that is right now is basically that the ceiling is open and we get light. Did not switch any lights on, so since about 2 days. What I'm gonna do, I'm cleaning up the ceiling with whatever mold is up there left. I've seen a few dark spots, and then I will start with the paint that I have left. I think it's green and blue, like dark green, dark blue outdoors paint, and start painting over the tops this way, over the tops that I can see the mold on. I will paint over this stuff all around, like all around the edges on the top. And I'm not sure, I'm going to decide now if I'm going to take the cladding down around the bed area or the dark green that you see there. Yes, it looks all very nice, but it is molded. It literally, in spots and places, it is very, very dark, very, very black. Either I'm going to take the whole cladding off and just paint on the OSB, or I'm just going to paint over the cladding, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. If there's too much wax in places, I will just have to take off the cladding and just paint on the OSB. I do not care anymore, guys. I do not care anymore. I mean, this van is going to be a building site until I get to my mom's anyway, so it's just going to be whatever happens, just paint over it so you don't breathe in as much mold as you should. You shouldn't breathe in any mold anyway. Right, this is another reason why this little guy is chewing his paws off, is because mold exposure. He can't handle that either. Nobody can, except my partner. Believe it or not, guys, my partner has no symptoms. He is completely immune to all this, and I keep wondering why the heck that happens. Like, why is he immune to this all and it does not affect him whatsoever? But us three, he's been chewing his paws off, he's been destroying his paws already. Don't know if you can see this is not good. He's literally chewing his little bit off in the middle. It is not good, it really isn't. She's calmed down now from the shaking earlier, but it's not great. So since we have about 8 degrees now, I keep trying to cover them up as much as possible to keep us all warm, because that's a very cold dip today. About 8 degrees today, and then tonight about 1 degree, and then we go slowly back up from tomorrow night. And yeah, hopefully that will be the last dip, but I'm not sure. So yeah, that's the procedure for today, and I will have to finish the bed in, as I started last night and the stable gun ran out of staples, so I'm gonna have to continue that today too. So yeah, sun is making its way through as well. It's getting brighter and brighter and brighter. I will have to make the bed area up and get on with painting and everything, and the bed area and all that. So I've been sorting out my shite yesterday. It's all stuffed in this corner now, and I just have to lift things out and in as I need them. It's not ideal, but it's better than it was before. So everything cluttered all over the place. Okay, so that's my brain starting to work slowly, and I'll see what I can do now. So let's get cracking. Right, so it turns out, after me trying to concentrate all morning, it's getting a bit warmer now that the sun is out. I have to paint. I just grabbed the paint. I have to paint over the cladding. I can't take it off because the window will be super wobbly because it's built on the window and we have nothing to prop it up with, so we would have to take the window out in order to get the cladding out, which is crazy. So whatever, just paint over it now. Paint over the whole thing and all the way around. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the bedding so far, but I need to do it now before we can go to sleep tonight. So I have to open up the door as well to get all the stink out and put a fan on and everything. So let's get started. It's now unbelievably cold. It is like literally 7 degrees in here now. 6 degrees. It's going down like to at least 1. Going down tonight. So it is unbelievably cold. I can see my own breath talking. Like this is crazy. So it is now like evening, around 6 p.m. now. And as you can see, I have been able to paint that left side, right side, which is now kind of blue, and the back one is green, just an outer green. That's it. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this side. I might even think about taking those down and just paint this whole bit dark blue as well as this side, so it's a bit similar. So gonna do that maybe. For now it needs to priority to stay warm because it's just gonna be a huge temperature drop. It's nasty. So I have to do the bed still, the doggy bed. I have to do the strips on there still. Quite a lot to do still, and I'm absolutely tired. Still foggy, still brain fog, and it's just not going away. It's just frustrating. Anyway, after this I'm gonna, the moment I realized I had to become my own vet for my dog, just gonna tell you that story after. Okay, so this is basically the story of how I found out I need to become my own vet for my dog. I had a lot of trouble back in the days in 2021 when his allergies started and his puking during the night, every night, and I didn't know what to do and I was helpless. No vet really could tell me what's going on because they're not nutritionists. And they always said to me, well, the only basic recipe that they had was chicken and rice, which apparently should be very soothing for the stomach or easy to digest, which is completely wrong. There is so much more to it. If you have an allergic dog with food, you need to start food trials and not put him on a chicken and rice, because you don't know if that's triggering the vomiting as well. So it is just crazy how wrong the advice can go. And yeah, so that was for me. I had to start looking up my own stuff because I literally had sleepless nights while he was puking almost on the clock every night. And I was back then I was on kibble with him. I tried various kibble brands. I tried the 3-pound ones. I tried the 30-pound ones, the 50-pound ones. I tried the whole range. I started learning that I had to look into ingredients. I didn't know how to read the ingredient labels. I started learning about that. It was very interesting. These days I can't stop looking at labels anymore. Every time I buy something, if I haven't bought that before, go straight on the back, turn the item around and look at the ingredient list. It's just engraved, imprinted in me. I'm just continuously looking into ingredients. Became a complete habit, like daily habit. Also, I found it very frustrating back in the days that I was not able to talk to the vet about this, and was only prescribed steroids. I had to do the digging myself. I mean, yes, they tried to figure out the source of this, but it was not like as intense as I was hoping. The more research I did, the more I explained to the vet, and then they were like, oh, okay, well, that's good. Like, basically they found it interesting that I did so much research and not just give up the dog or euthanize him, because most people apparently do that. If it gets too complicated, the dog just goes. And that's just crazy to me. I was so scared. I was so scared to look into raw food, fresh feeding, home cooked diets. I was so scared to feed too much vegetables, to potentially cause harm or damage to the dog if I feed too much vegetables. I don't know where I got this from, but that was like back in the days. If you feed too much of spinach, then you can cause serious damage. If you feed too much of broccoli, you can cause serious damage. I don't have that fear anymore these days. I'm just literally going with the eye measurement. I went on to involve a nutritionist, which went very wrong as well. A lot of miscommunications, not very good advice either, which when I look back from today, would say I would not have given that advice back in the days as well. Because the elimination diets that I had back in the days, they included sweet potato, and sweet potato on a yeasty dog you should avoid, because that grows the yeast as well, because yeast feeds on sugar and sweet potato is sugary. And therefore I was not feeding the right diet back then either, even though the nutritionist recommended that. So that was not very good, and I would not do that these days either. It wasn't all bad, I have to say. The nutritionist was giving me some good advice about how many vegetables, what the ratios are for it, what can be fed with what. So I got a bit more knowledge and a bit more assurance. Yes, I got that from that, but the communication overall was absolutely downhill. And yeah, some advice was not good, but again, that was giving me the starter for exploring stuff myself. And then I discovered Dr. Jones, Veterinary Secrets, Dr. Becker, all these big names. I started following those people and watching those people, what they're feeding their dogs and cooking and stuff like that. And slowly, time after time, I discovered all the combinations that you shouldn't do with a yeasty dog. A yeasty dog basically should almost have nothing, just a complete one protein and almost no vegetables that are actually sugary. He can have some, but especially not sweet potato and carrots, because carrots can be sugary too, surprisingly. So yeah, that's all the stuff I learned over the years. So this all came bit by bit by bit. And once I had the situation with the nutritionist and he gave me a little bit of a kick in order to go in the right direction, I think it was when I started looking into raw feeding after I did the home cooking, because obviously I moved in the van and then the home cooking was not possible anymore because of the storage space. And yeah, so I basically just went on and on and on, get more knowledge And yeah, that was basically the turning point of like, I have to keep going with this. I have to keep looking into ingredient lists, because other people suggest things to me that I do not want to do or do not want to have, or the ingredients in those products that I do not agree with. And that's basically how I formed my understanding of what needs to be in the ingredient list and what shouldn't be in it, and why I use this and not that. And so that kind of formed over time, because I was back then also feeding according to other people and not looking at the ingredient list, which included magnesium stearate, but yeah, that's another story. I think it was a year later, roughly, that I started looking into, yes, I need to become my own vet, because I need to stop the steroids. I need to figure out how his ears inflammation is happening and how can I stop it. That was basically the turning point back then. I was like, yes, I'm gonna look into this myself and start doing my own thing. And that turned over the past 5 years into, yeah, becoming my own holistic vet. Obviously the word itself, not like I'm a holistic vet. I'm actually very proud of how far I've come and what I've achieved, because that boy now is so much different to 5 years ago. So much different. He is so much better. I know now why his ears are getting inflamed now and then, and what I can do about it. And that is a big step forward. And I only discovered the ear inflammation situation last September, so it's quite new, all that stuff to me, which is crazy. But yeah, it's nice to get more knowledge and get further in the education, my own education basically, and learn how it all connects together in the body, and what you can do to support it, and what you shouldn't do, what you shouldn't put in it, what you should put in it in order to support it. And yeah, I did not know that the gut is connected with the ears, and the body is secreting trash through the ears if the liver is overproducing and can't clear out things anymore that good, and it goes through the ears. I did not know that, and that was the knowledge that I started learning last September, when I decided I'm not doing steroids anymore. I'm not doing 100-pound vet appointments anymore. I'm gonna figure this out myself, because this is ridiculous. And that's what it was. And yeah, since I know this knowledge, like it's basically Chinese medicine, it is so much better. So much better to figure out what herbs to give, what supplements to give basically, and how to deal with it when it comes to it, and not wait anymore and just keep feeding and whatnot. So yeah, so that's basically how it all came together, and I keep going on from here. Like it did not finish, it did not stop. Now with my girl having the mold exposure issues with her skin, so there's always something to learn and always something to improve. So the journey of the learning keeps going on, and I keep learning more and more and more, and can give more knowledge. And if you would like to have conversations with me about your dog, like yeast, ear infections, skin infections, or skin issues in general, raw feeding, anything, just let me know. Write me an email, contact me through email, and I'll get back in touch with you. I'm happy to talk, happy to give you my knowledge and get your dog better. So yeah, let's do it. And that was the summary of how I became my own vet for my doggie. And I'll see you in the next video.